Welcome back to episode 6 of New Titan. And last time we managed to get the atmosphere in here warmed. Weirdly, between sessions on reloading, we seem to have jumped from 4 degrees to 12 degrees. I'm not sure why that has happened, but I'll take it. So we're at 12 degrees in here, which is a great start. So, we know we've got power problems. And we need to do something about that because we can't really run that wall heater. 12 is still just a little bit too cold. 12.1. So we're going to want to go and deal with that. And we'll get cracking. So let's head on out. Right, first thing I'll do it before I go out. Let's just dump the CO2. This will drop the temperature a bit because it's cold in here, but even so it's still settled at 5 degrees, 9 in here, 8 is 4. I wonder whether something odd happened with the atmospheres on the save. I don't know, that's weird. It seems to have come back to 6, which is still higher than it was. Oh well, anyway, let's not worry about it too much more. Right, let's sort this airlock out while we're here as well. So I'm going to set the internal, I'll set it to 20, I can't be bothered to wait for it to fully pressurize. I'm going to set the external to 50, 60. It's probably enough to avoid too much buffeting. Get a sensor right. Okay, let's try and guess. I'm going to go. Is that it? Yes, first time. External door, internal door. So is that the external vent? Yes, it is. Internal vent. Okay. Now I'm hoping that with this drain, and the fact that we can eat and drink inside without immediately dying, we don't need to make this a pure vacuum in future. So we can now do this, and hopefully that's one less potential source of human error. Let's switch batteries before we go out. Okay, still got blown quite a lot, but not too terribly. Right, now, I don't know if I have the materials to make another wind turbine, but let's have a little look. It'll probably be gold that will be the issue. Gold and copper. We've got a bit of copper in there, so that solves the copper problem. Oh, we've got a bit of gold in there. We could actually solve this quite... no, we can't because we're not going to have enough for the heavy cable. Oops, left that one slightly too long. Never mind. Let's just nab both of them out of there. Let's get one of these making. Yeah. I'm going to need... I think, annoyingly, I'm going to need 1 unit of gold. I don't think I have any lurking in my pockets. No, I don't. So I could open the centrifuge. I was kind of hoping before we did that we could route the contents in here. Dumping this in there because I'm going to need a load of iron to do this. These back in. Actually, I'm going to put that to one side because I'm going to need that. Right, that's probably enough. 6 chutes. Is that going to make more than we need, to be honest? Going to need quite a lot though. So the plan is we're going to bring some chutes in through this corner and we're going to connect the other end to the centrifuge. Right, let's make that heavy cable. We might have to hack it a bit with some normal cable, just 2 lengths of normal, I think. That's the only way this is going to work. To be fair, I need some more cable anyway, for what I'm going to be doing next. 6, 7, 8. Do I not got unlimited resources here? Yeah, it's a bit hacky, but we'll make it work for now, and we'll forget to come back and sort it later. was that. I don't think this is anywhere near enough, but I don't want to just run it forever. Okay, we'll come back and deal with that in a minute. Let's get the power sorted first. This is not going to be enough. It's going to start to tip the balance in favour of generating faster than using. So let's drop down here. This is going to need 2 more lengths, I reckon. Yeah, that's going to go there. Yeah, so let's hope this doesn't blow. It's a temporary hack, as I say. Undoubtedly forget I've done later. Good. Okay, that is the power under control. Well, not under control, it's slightly more balanced. Let's see how we get on with these chutes. I'm going to print 3 more, so I've got 2 10 stacks. It's still not going to be enough. I guess I'm probably going to need about 30 something. Start with one of the new 3 length straights, and I'm going to spin that around there. And I'm going to put a downward corner onto that just so it drops on the floor nicely rather than clipping into the roof. Let's come and have a look at this corner up here. Okay, so I think I want to run it across about here. Hopefully. Fact, I'm going to be bold. I'm going to put one here. May take it down in a minute, but that at least gives me a guide to make sure I've got my, I have lined it up correctly against the right one. Right, so we're going to put a 1, and we're going to put a, what did I do that for? That was the wrong thing to do. Don't want a window, I want a straight. 1, another window. Go, and take that back out. I'm going to put a 10 onto there. Go, right. Okay. I don't think I need a 10, but maybe a 5. Oh, come on. Clip on. Oh, you silly thing. Is that looking? Yeah, that's about right, because I'm going to want to put the centrifuge into that space there. So with these, I'm going to want to go up. Across. I'm going to want space for a connection. Yeah, this will come out. Okay, that's about right. So let's make some more. I knew that wouldn't be enough, but going in the right direction. Let's clear the air in here a little bit because it's annoying me. Right, we'll do another 10 stack. I think that still isn't going to be enough, but I don't want to overproduce. So that'll be enough to get started. So now I'm going to tackle the problem from the opposite end. So I'm going to put a 3 high onto here. Or am I? Or am I? But I'd be better off putting a rear corner. I'm not connecting that yet in case I need materials out in the meantime. Now I think I'm going to go up 2, not 3. Yes. That's what I want. And I'm going to put a corner here. Right, now this is going to look silly. You're going to wonder why I'm doing 3 ones instead of a 3, but it's because at some point one of these, this one I think, is going to need to become a junction. I think if I line this up right, actually almost the right number. Like 1 too short. 1 short, no 2 short because I need 1 to there. Okay. That's pretty decent. that. I want 2 more of these. I also want 2 railings as well, actually, while I'm here. They're super fast to make, so I'm just going to supervise while it does that. And I need 2 of these. 1, 2. Okay. Connect these up here first. I'm going to have to go on this side of the wall. I don't know why I went the other side. That's that one. And in fact, we can connect that one because if I need to eject this now, it's going to feed all the way inside. And I forgot to shut this door, but the other thing that I wanted to do is to put some railings. I think I like that type.
Power low.
There we go. Right, and that just creates a little landing pen here, which is useful for stopping the ore from rolling. Switch batteries. I'm going to need filters in a minute as well, aren't I? Bring these inside. I know they're used outside, but I'll bring them inside because I need to ultimately take this down, move it. So let's flip that on for a minute, get this cleared a bit. What I'll do is I'll put that in there. I'm actually going to smelt that because I'm bound to need it at some point. Just chuck these in here, which is where in the end all of the iron's going to end up, so we might as well just let these roam free. Right, and then these can go in here. Go. Right, good. So once I've got a tool printer set up in here, which we'll do at some point, then did a valve, didn't I? Once I've done that, then I will most likely put the other crate down. Liquid valve. VALVE. Go. One of those, just one. Thank you very much. You still can go back. Actually, do you know what? I'm really don't quite know why it is, but I feel in my head like I keep expecting this to be the auto lathe and that to be the electro printer, so I might just take these 2 down right now. Actually, whilst I'm not printing anything, and just swap them over. Because every time I'm thinking, oh, I want the machine, I keep turning the wrong way. Just those 2. Yeah, the pipe bender is exactly where I feel like I want it to be, but for some reason these are backwards to what my head tells me they should be, so we're just going to fix that. Don't know why that is, it just feels that way. Sometimes something just feels too confusing and you might as well just deal with it. Let's plug that in there. Let's plug that in there. Go, right. And there we go, that was reasonably painless, I suppose. Okay, I'll probably get really confused now because I'll forget I've switched them around, but that just feels better. As I say, couldn't tell you why, it just feels like that's the right way round for them. I'm going to keep the steel to one side for now. And let's chuck that one in there. Right, there's my pipe valve. Now, So I was just thinking I was going to make the needed copper. Can't remember what that was, so let's just chuck that there. Actually, let's put the rest of the iron in there. That's where it's most useful. Okay, right. That's the start. Let's get inside. Install the water connector. There's a charge coming along. Just get rid of that. 2, 4. Okay, it's getting up. That's good. So we can turn the heater on while we're in there. And the thing I can do now, when I'm ready, I'm not quite going to do it yet because there's quite a few fractional ones that we'll lose, but I can now eject this and it should end up inside, which means it won't blow away. Right, let's do this. Okay, doesn't look like we have a liquid problem in here now, so that's a good start as well. My bottleneck is likely to become gold, looking at the state of things. Possibly copper. Whoops. Put that in there. Yeah. Do. Then that can go on there. That just means I've got a one-way isolation valve, so if something goes wrong with my water supply, I haven't lost the whole lot. How much have I got in there? I should probably about 80 litres, 89 litres. Right, so I'm going to open this briefly and allow that to just really quickly. Oh, I didn't even. I thought I would have transferred some across. No, it's really not doing it. Okay, that's fine. This must be all pressurised to about the same amount of liquid then. Right, okay, while we're inside, I'm going to flick that on. If we start getting the power flickering again, I know I need to turn it off. Now, I'm going to keep back 2 of these because I'll need them for the atmospherics unit. Let's see how much of this I can actually set up. So what we're going to do here is we're going to have a pipe that comes from that vent. We can use this to suck oxygen out of that room. So we'll suck the oxygen out. We'll put it into an atmosphere processor, which is about enough to at least lay in roughly where it's going to fit together. Wire it from this side. Possibly got a couple of cables too few, but we'll see how we go. To there. Oh, I had it the first time. Of course I did. Get so used to not having it the first time. When you do, you actually get it wrong. Yeah, I think I'm going to need that way. And one like that. Oh, I've got exactly the right amount. There we go. Right. I'll still need cable to make the atmosphere processor, but we'll put the atmospherics unit in here. That'll be a filter. We'll stick that oxygen filters in there. We'll use the IC chip slot to allow us to do some basic automation on that grow light and the heater, as well as on the oxygen itself. And then the idea is we will suck oxygen out of the air in there. Which, on the subject of which, why don't I release some from here now? Because I'm so close to being stable. Bring the pressure up a bit as well, and probably the temperature. But we'll suck the oxygen that the plants are generating in here through. I'll put some sort of limiter on it so it doesn't fully depressurize this room out, and then this will go up into a pressure reg and a tank canister holder, which we can then use to repressurize the gas cylinder, at which point I can completely empty at least one of these. I'll probably keep one as a backup for a little while. Forgot to bottle back. Let's do that. But that seems like a good plan. Actually, that subject. I wonder if I can breathe yet. No. I say no, and he says oxygen critical, but I'm not starting to pass out. So if it's actually positive, there we go. We'll eat and drink. Okay. So I need to be able to make an atmospherics unit, oxygen filter, bunch more pipes, some cables, and a pressure reg and a tank.
Oxygen critical.
Yeah, it's still saying oxygen critical, but I'm still not starting to pass out. We're at 10%. No, sorry, 24%. Reading it wrong. Okay, that's decent. I'm also going to dump the contents of this. Guess there's a bit more CO2. I can obviously bring in more CO2 from the furnace later on. Various ways of collecting that. Okay, that looks good. And then I can collect more nitrogen once I melt down that ice of an ice crusher in there. We'll connect the water to the water pipes, and we will connect the gas, I think, just out. We'll use that cowl to do it just straight outside into the atmosphere and dump the nitrogen. As long as I only use it to process water ice, we'll be fine. Okay, this is starting to be... I've still got my helmet open and I have not started to pass out, so that's good. Right, I'm not going to leave this on while I go out. Temperature's at 11 degrees. Yeah, it must have been something odd when I reloaded that got it to 12 in the whole hab. It's 12 in here now. Right, I'm going to try planting a potato. Am I going to try that before I've got any automation on that light? Maybe not. I don't need it yet. Okay, I'm going to pop that off while I go out, because otherwise it's going to deplete my battery while I'm outside. That'd just be annoying. I'm going to just make sure that scrubber's charged, because we don't want anything getting in here that we won't be wanting in here. Shut my helmet. I think that would be fairly instantly fatal. Let's go. What's the tracker? Okay, that's probably fine. I'm just going to put the disc in there, but that's a recent configuration. Right, I'm going to need some CO2 filters shortly. So that's a good start, but let's see if we can do this atmosphere processing. If we can get that done before the end of this episode, that would be a good good outcome. Let's throw that over there. Get it out of the way. Just get sucked back in here otherwise. I still recognise it's a different atmosphere, that's good. Right, so let's see how much more stuff we'll need for our atmospherics unit. 5 gold, 15 more copper. Okay, so I don't think we've got any more gold, but we've probably got the copper lurking. No, maybe we've used all the copper. No, that is all the copper we've got, is that 5. Okay, fine. Right, what I'm going to do before I forget is I'm going to make make 2 CO2 filters. These 2 can just get stashed over here until we've got a recycler. No, they can't. Just throw them over there, that's fine. Lovely. There we go. Okay, I'm not going to suffocate for a minute. Okay, looks like let's go see what the state of the centrifuge is then. And I think getting a second centrifuge is a high priority because that will increase the processing rate here. That's really close. I'm just going to let it finish processing 1 more unit, actually maybe 2, just in case there's a rounding error on that gold. That's at 14.9. As you can see, some of them have gone to like 3.000. It just tells me that there's probably floating point numbers. Probably says 15, but I bet in reality it's like 14.9999999, and I'll end up only getting 14 out. So I'll let 1 more process. There we go. Pull the handle. The good thing is I don't need to stress about this stuff blowing away now. So I think actually, despite everything I've just said about atmospherics, probably my copper from this ought to go towards making the second centrifuge and the cabling for it, because that will make a big difference. This is going to have to move though, so let's just preempt that problem now. Just do that, and let's take up the mount. I will put another mount inside, but as I say, I want the tool printer first, but we'll put one over here. This is, oh, we can't because that's not frames, is it? Unfortunate. Right, well, in the short term, fine here. Just can't go that far down. Don't really want to just leave things lying around because even without any storms, and I don't know why they're not triggering, by the way, but even without any storms, this map is just not a good one to leave stuff lying around on. I expect this is dead, yeah. Okay, that's fine. Fix that. Where's that? There it is, thank you. So much vacuum from just drilling that, but I couldn't walk from it. Right, okay, that should sort that. Yeah, see, I'm getting blown all over the place. Hence my point about not leaving things lying around. Okay, that's finished. Shut that. And I should have some ready to go ores in here, hopefully. Look at that. Nice. So, copper. Let's get that going. Let's see what we need for another centrifuge. How far away are we from what we need? Oh, we only need 5 copper. Amazing. We could probably build both. Is 5 copper. Need to keep that back enough to make some cable, of course, but yeah, wait, I've got 27 in there. Huh. Should remember what I'm doing with stuff, really, shouldn't I? Right, okay, let's get some cable made. Don't know how much I'm going to need. Might as well make about 10, I guess. Cable. Going to need some for the atmospherics unit as well, actually. So I'll make a bit more than that, because I've none at all at the moment. One more. That'll do. Stop. And we're going to need steel sheets for the centrifuge. Grab that steel. Chuck it in. This is much easier now. I've got these this way round. I can't explain why it was confusing me before, but it really, really was. 2, 3. That's the 4th one. We'll be wanting some stackers, but let's see how we get on with the copper first. Right, atmospherics. So we're going to need to bring across. Right, we've got only a little bit of spare copper there. Actually, I thought we had tons, but we have got some. Right, I'm going to smelt that while I'm out. I'm going to turn off that and that because I'm not using them. Take that outside because we don't be wanting that in here. Right, okay, you go over there. I thought for a minute I'd thrown something I needed. Okay, let's get this centrifuge down. I'm obviously going to need more chutes to make it work, but this will make a big difference. This will allow us to start to process ore at double the rate. So line up with the other one. Far. Actually, it might mean I have to do something with these and bend it round, but I'd rather do that. Have a bit of space, get between them to access the drill then. And I'm going to put a chip in to control it, which we'll put in the middle. Nice, right, okay. That's that, and okay. Closest attachment point. Probably there. Yep. Okay, let's do this. Just leave a little stop there. the new IC holders are... Oh, that was good, because that's what I'm going to need for later. The new IC holders are excellent, because they only need one connection point. Ah, no, that's not quite the right amount, because I need to connect it over here as well. Wire cutters. Ah, so annoying. I had it to start off with and just reflexively hit the C. Right, there we go. Alright, that's good. So, let's try and guess how many chutes we're going to need. So we're going to want to come across here, so I'm kind of thinking that's got to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, so that's 9, and then I'm going to need to come up here. We know that that's 2 up, so that's 11, and then I'm going to need at least 1 to connect in here. Actually, that's too close, so I'm probably going to have to connect it there, so we'll have to come across 1. I'm going to make 13. I think that's about right. Okay, so I realise that that means I'm going to use a load of that. That's okay. No, that was not what I wanted, but nonetheless you can go there. Actually, while we're tidying up, you can go there. No, just go there. You were the one I wanted out of there. Get in there. Get smelting. Let's grab those two. They can be stacked in there and in there. Ah, lovely bit of carbon dioxide ice. Okay. That's 10. Right, I think I'm going to use these 10 and see how I'm looking. So we're going to want a junction, which I'll fit last, because that's going to make a mess. Actually, what am I doing? I can probably, I don't know if I can save any, but I might be able to save at least 1 by using that. No, I actually need 4. The other problem with this is that that's now right where I need to walk if I do need to access the drill. There is an argument that says lift it up here. It's kind of annoying because there's quite a lot more chutes, but on the other hand, I'll probably thank myself later. Does fits there, I think. Maybe not. No, of course not. Okay. No. Let's definitely need some more now. Make that. That's the gold that I'm going to need in a minute. I'm going to need to smelt some iron. Let's try that. If I can get this end connected, then I can oops, then I can at least get the second one running. Right, there we go. That's better. That will be easier later. So switch that on. This is going to probably make a mess for a minute. useful is that? Not very. Let's put an inlet in here, throw them back through, and when it inevitably goes wrong. Let's turn that off for a second. I don't want any more mess than I have to put up with here, and I think it's going to be quite enough. Which I'm surprised anyone. Right, what we want here is a flip-flop splitter will do the job. Actually, an overflow, that would work better. Yeah. Okay. Actually pleasantly surprised by that. Thought that would make more mess than it did. Yeah, that's not going to work because we can't put a junction on a corner. It's a bit frustrating, but there we go. Right, now where did that one roll off to? There it is. Put that way before I accidentally throw it flying. Turn it back on. There we go. That's fully queued up. In fact, I'm going to force it to trigger some more just so the other one starts processing. Go. Good. Right, let me see if I can restructure this in a way where we can put a joint on there because I've got more control over this. It will only trigger when I want it to. So, junction. So nearly going the right way, but not quite. Come on. No, definitely don't want you going that way. Well, this is not difficult. Apparently it's difficult. There we go, that's the connection I want. Then we want a curve on there. Well, a curve. Let's try it from this way. Okay, great. Then I just need two more, I think. Corner and another corner. Yep, okay.
Power critical.
Whoops, power critical. Let's fix that. Okay, good. So this should start to make a big difference in terms of the rate at which we can get some ore produced. So let's get the second one of these on. One. Oh, seriously? That was annoying. I know I just put 10% battery in there, but that was annoying. I'm completely mad. I'm going to just swap the battery for the one in the airlock. Right, one more. Come. And atmospherics. It's coming together. I'm going to need some more cable. Only one, I think, but I mean, actually, to be fair, I'm going to need more than that because I'm going to need to set up a computer and that sort of stuff in a minute, but let's get this printed. Okay, what else do I need for in there? I'm going to need an oxygen filter. So let's grab that. Right, I'll finish these chutes before I forget. Good, okay. Happy with that. So it's chuntering away nicely. Okay, that should, it won't double our rate of resource generation, but it should increase it significantly. Okay. Should be fairly close to double. I just don't think the miner's going to generate enough to quite double it. But, you go in there, because we're going to need to make some pipes. Right, finished with you for now. Okay, so what do we need over here? Need pipes. Need some pipe utility as well. How many pipes are we going to need? Not a huge number. I'm going to take a guess that we need probably about 3 or 4, so I'll make 4. It's better to have one too many and not need it. Stacker would be nice about now, but you know, making progress in the right direction. I feel like we might get one. I said 4 to 9, made 5. No, okay. And I want a pipe. In fact, I want 2 pipe utilities because I'm going to put in an inline tank. Got a lot of pollutant building up in here now. An inline tank and obviously a canister filler, and then we need a pressure egg. Whatever's left after that, which will be no copper, but at least a bit of gold, we will flick across to the electronics printer and see how far we are away from being able to make a computer. Actually, before we start on that, I might do the ice crusher next. So, need a computer, which will need 5 gold, and we need an IC10, which I'm fairly sure is 10. So we need 15 gold, and we've got 9. So we can't do that yet. Okay, let's. And that needs 1 copper, which I can get out of here. Yes. Is any in there? No. Right, okay. Okay, there. Go in there, we're about to use it. Okay, this is definite progress. Does mean we'll need a few more pipes. Not a huge number, but I reckon I'm going to need another few. Maybe. Okay, let's stack those with these. Oh, that atmosphere's going really strange now. Convenient way of gathering up all the pollutant into one corner. Blow back in as soon as I open that door, won't it? Right. Okay, so for the ice crusher, we've got a cowl. I'm going to need at least 1 length of liquid, 2 lengths of liquid pipe to connect it up, and I don't think there was any left. 2, we'll make 4, 3. That's 4. Okay. Now, in an ideal world, if I had enough pocket space, I would also. Actually, we're going to need some cable. Probably a reasonable amount of cable. Yeah, if we have enough pocket space, I would make some more hydroponics trays. But I'm not going to have enough.
Power low.
Back in there so we don't lose it. That should be plenty. Okay, right, we've literally got nowhere else to carry anything, so I guess I'll take this inside. I need an iron sheet as well, annoyingly. I might have to do this in 2 shifts. Make the iron sheet so I don't forget. Okay. I think I'm going to have to drop some stuff off over here. Quickly run back. Close that. Grab that. Right. That should be enough to get. I wonder if I can make an IC10. Did I need? No, I didn't have enough gold, did I? No, I've already been around this loop. What am I doing? Right, okay, let's just leave that be. We'll let it generate some more gold while I'm doing this. There's plenty I can get on with inside the hab now. Right. Release that CO2 ice actually in the other end of the room. Nudge that up a bit. Oops. Clearly some volatiles got in, but that's okay. Bit more temperature. Right. Both of them can get dropped in here, that can get dropped in here. Let's go away. What do I do with the, that is the ice crusher, right, okay. Switch that. Get the pollutant out. Obviously we will replace that in due course. Right, let's get this into a filtration the wrong way. Stick that in there, and that's nicely lined up. I'm going to need the pipes through here. I left them in the some in there, but not that many. A screwdriver. Okay, now then. Put an upward pipe. In fact, what I'm then going to do is to put inline tank there. And then I need temperature pressure rig straight to that, I don't think. I can. Huh, did not know. That's perfect. Right, let's get this so that I can actually see the dial. I can't work out whether that's facing towards me or away from me. Away from me. I suppose it doesn't hugely matter as long as I can see it from somewhere in the room. So maybe that is the way to go. Yeah, that'll be fine, I can access it from here. Oh, it's a bit fiddly. There we go, we'll do that. And can I get this done? Let's get it sorted, that'll be fine. We'll deal with that in a minute. I'm going to put a that on there, and I'm going to put this on here. Like that. There we go. And we'll wire this up to next time, I think, actually. Because I'm conscious that this has become a longer video than I wanted. But let's just roughly figure out where we're going to put it. There should do the job. Yep. Okay. There. Yes, that will work. Oh, maybe we can get this. do that there, that in there. Nice. Can go on there, and just put the cowl on top, which is in here. There we go. Oh, I forgot I left myself additional in there. Never mind. Right. Better to have too many than not enough. Let's grab that. Come on, let's finish the job. Nearly done. Right. Okay. We'll just do this as a speedy finish, and then we will call it a day. Right. There we go. Let's get that on there. Let's see if we can connect this onto here. And then next time we can melt some ice. I'm going to have to run this down here, aren't I? Flip that round. Okay. Here we go. Come on. How fast can I wire this? And across there, I'm not going to have enough wire anyway. Alright, and it's in the wrong place. So that just goes to show when you're rushing. Anyway, we've got most of that infrastructure in place. I think that will do for this time because time is definitely getting on. Let's pop this in here. Let's turn off the wall heater because firstly we're up to 15 degrees and secondly we are running out of power. But what I am going to do is I'm going to plant my very first potato. There we go. And I'm going to flick the light on so that it doesn't die. We'll have to manually keep an eye on that. There we go. We'll call that victory. We have our first green shoots, the first thing growing on Titan. So I hope you enjoyed that episode, and as always, if you did, like and subscribe, and I hope to see you on the next episode.